Hey there, it's Gillian, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 8 digital product ideas that can earn at least $100 per day. Now, if you've been on my channel for any time at all, then you know that I'm a huge fan of digital products.
That's an understatement.
Especially I talk about courses a lot of the time because they're what allow me to earn a passive income online with my business, enabling me to work from home so I can homeschool my kids, work really flexible hours, and just enjoy a really nice lifestyle. But a lot of the time, like I said, I talk about online courses. And while I love online courses so much, and I think they're an incredible opportunity, it truly can take a lot of time and effort to create and to market a digital course.
Hey, tell me about it.
So in this video, I want to share with you 8 digital product ideas that still have really good earning potential, but are a lot simpler to create. And I would go so far as to say that pretty much anyone can create any of the product ideas that I'm going to share with you in this episode. These are all things that you can create on your computer or even on your phone and just create them one time, and then you can sell thousands and thousands of copies, meaning you can get paid thousands of times for that work you did once, and it also means that you can help thousands of people with that work you did once. You could use any of these ideas to just earn some passive income on the side, but you could also use them to generate a full-time income because they all definitely have the potential to earn at least $100 per day, and most of them could earn you $1,000 or more per day, meaning that you could be earning multiple 6 figures per year. Now, of course, a lot of that comes down to the marketing of these products, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but right now, let's get into the digital product ideas themselves. So the first idea I want to share with you is that of teaching a workshop or a class. Now, this is kind of similar to a course, except it is a much smaller scope. So where with an online course, you might have 10 modules with 10 videos in each, or you might have 3 modules with 3 video lessons in each. With a workshop or a class, we're talking about one video. It might be something like an hour long, or you could even do just a 30-minute workshop, but you show up one time, you record your workshop, typically live, and then you have the recording and you can sell that recording.
Cool.
You can sell it either on your own website, or you can break it up and actually turn it into a course, and you can sell it on any number of different course platforms like Udemy or Skillshare. Another great idea is to create Canva templates. So you may be familiar with the free graphic design software called Canva. It's a really easy to use software. A lot of beginners use it. And something that a lot of people love about it is that it includes a lot of templates. So for the non-designer, for the person who's just DIYing, maybe a PDF or a poster or a logo, they love that they can go in there and just grab one of those templates and customize it to make it custom for their brand or for their needs.
Thank you.
Well, on Canva, there are free templates, but there are also paid templates. And if you have any eye for design at all, then you can go in there and create your own templates inside of Canva, and then you can sell them on Canva. And something that's cool about this is that you don't even need your own website or anything like this, because they will actually get sold on Canva by Canva, and you'll just be earning a passive commission. Idea number 3 is to create and sell workbooks. Now, you could create a workbook about literally anything you know anything about. You could create a workbook about some sort of personal development process that you've gone through where you learned something about yourself or about the world. You could create a workbook that teaches someone a skill.
I got skill.
There are so many different things you could create a workbook about. You could create a workbook for an individual to use, or for a small class or a small group to use. And then you can sell these workbooks on your own website, or you can put them on public marketplaces. For example, maybe you make a workbook that you sell on Teachers Pay Teachers, which is a website where teachers and homeschool parents buy resources for teaching kids that are made by other teachers and parents. Printables are a little bit like a workbook in that typically they're going to be something that someone will print out and write on. But typically with the printables, they're just a page or a handful of pages. It's not a full workbook. And there are so many different types of printables you could create. It could be something like a kid's chore chart, or you could create a printable that's a social media calendar or any other sort of planner. You could create printables that are, like I was talking about before, like homeschool resources. For example, I was just downloading some printable multiplication charts for my oldest child to use for his math homework, and those I purchased on Teachers Pay Teachers. Now, printables, like I said, there's so many options that there are lots of different places you could sell them, starting with your own website, but also Teachers Pay Teachers and also Etsy. There are so many printables available on Etsy, and it's really easy to list your printable there and then to be able to earn passive income from it. Idea number 5 is along similar lines, but it's something very specific, and that is that you can create a planner. Sort of like a workbook, sort of like a printable. You can create either digital planners that people are actually going to use digitally on their phone or on their tablet, or you can create printable planners that are intended for people to print out and actually write on. These planners could be the sort of weekly planner where you're planning out tasks, or they could be more like a calendar, or you could create a planner that's for a specific type of person. So for example, one type of planner you could create would be like a content calendar planner. So this would be for someone who's running their own business or someone who is a social media strategist and they need to plan out content for different content platforms like Instagram and YouTube. Well, you can format the planner so that it's custom fit for them. It's definitely not going to be something that they could just go down to Office Depot and buy.
I can't have what I want.
It's going to be much more custom. And so for that reason, people are really eager to get their hands on these customized or personalized planners that are great digital products. For number 6, I've got something that's a little bit different. It is presets or photo editing presets. So if you aren't familiar with what a preset is, basically it is a certain configuration of a bunch of settings for editing photos so that you can take a picture from looking like this to looking like this with literally one click of a button. Instead of having to toggle all these different settings to adjust the exposure and the contrast and the saturation, you just click one button and apply this preset and it makes all of those little changes for you. People especially love to buy presets to use with Adobe Photoshop and the mobile version of Adobe Photoshop. And people sell different presets that have different looks. Now, if you are a photo professional, like a photographer or a photo editor, or you have any experience with Adobe Photoshop, then you might already know how to create these, and this would be a super easy idea for you.
I'm a photographer!
But even if you're not, even if you've never edited photos before, you actually still could create this. You can just take some photos of your own, put them inside of Adobe Photoshop, and then play around with the settings until you find a look that you like. Now, if you're not a professional at this, I would highly recommend that you then apply that preset, those particular settings, to a bunch of different photos of your own and make sure that they actually look good on a variety of photos, not just on the one that you started with. But then you can essentially just export that as a preset and you can sell that exported file. There are lots of great tutorials on YouTube that show you exactly how to do this. It's really quite simple, just like exporting any other sort of file from most other programs. If you are the artsy type and you would love to be an artist and get paid for it, but you have that idea of the starving artist and how it's really difficult to make money as an artist, then you're going to love this next idea because it's a way that you really can make a full-time income as an artist online. And that is by creating art printables. So this has become a big industry in the last several years, people selling printable art on Etsy. Now you can create this printable art by either actually doing art and then digitizing it, or you can actually just create digital art and then sell the file for people to print out. Whichever way is more appealing to you, whichever medium you are more familiar and comfortable with is totally fine because there is a market for both. And while you might think that art is a saturated market, there's so much competition out there, and it's true that it can be tough to stand out, because this is such a budding industry and people really want this printable art.
I want it.
There is really a big opportunity and so many holes in the market for specific styles of art that there just aren't that many printable options for. So whatever style of art you like creating, just go on Etsy and see what you can find, and I'll bet that you will get some inspiration for how you could stand out from the crowd and do something a little different and get your corner of that market. Okay, so let's wrap this up with idea number 8, which is to create system or software templates. So this might be something that you are not familiar with with at all, but let me just explain a little bit about what it is. So in some software, there are lots of different settings for you to configure, or there are different ways for you to lay out different things. And it can be a little intimidating to someone who's new to the software, or it can just be very time consuming to set up these whole systems.
There is no time.
And so in some software, there is the option to create these layouts or these systems or these setting configurations and then export them and then actually sell those either on your own website or on a marketplace for that specific software. So let me give you an example. I use Asana as my project management system in my business. So like I said, it's a project management system, essentially a very complex to-do list with lots of different ways that you can configure your tasks into projects and assign them to different teammates. And part of this is setting up these projects where you have the project organized in a certain way, you have all the tasks inside it organized in a certain way, and that process of setting up that project, like I said earlier, can be really time consuming. And so Asana has a marketplace where you can actually purchase premium Asana templates that other Asana users have created. And then also people sell Asana templates on their own websites or as part of their courses as well. Now that's just one example. This exists in a lot of different types of software. And so if there is a software that you are familiar with yourself, something that you use, and you have a certain way that you have configured it or set it up for your personal needs or for your specific business or for a company you work for, then you can look into whether or not there's a way to export that and possibly sell it on the marketplace for that specific software. And sometimes you can sell something that you've actually already created and you were never intending to eventually sell it, to turn it into a digital product.
You don't say.
But you can do that with a click of a few buttons to just export it and then upload it to that marketplace. So there you have it, 8 digital product ideas that can earn at least $100 per day. Like I said, many of these can be created by anyone. There are a few that are a little bit more specialized, although even those with just a little bit of learning, you could create as well. I hope that this gave you tons of great ideas for digital products you could create. Now, I said I was going to talk about marketing a little bit later on. So I shared with you, with each of these different product ideas, kind of where you might sell it, whether it's on your own website or on some specific marketplace, like the marketplace for a certain software or Teachers Pay Teachers or Etsy. And when you sell on one of those third-party platforms, a lot of the time, a lot of the marketing kind of takes care of itself, because once you list your product on that site, as long as you do a good job, including good images of the thing you're selling and a good description of it and an appropriate title, it's going to rank in the search on that platform, and that platform's millions of users will find it.
I found it.
And if it's something that there is a market for, then they will purchase it. On the other hand, some of these ideas were things that you would sell on your own website, and you will really need to come up with a marketing strategy for yourself. I make a lot of videos here on YouTube about marketing your business online, so I'm gonna leave the links to a few of those down below if you wanna learn more about how you'll actually market these digital product ideas once you create them. Also, kind of a disclaimer, something that I think is really important to know that not everyone talks about when they talk about how easy it is to create and sell digital products, is that as soon as you start selling anything, even if you're just selling one small thing, even if it's only being sold for $5, even if it only took you half an hour to create, whatever it is, as soon as you start selling something, you are technically starting a business. And there's a lot that goes along with that. Fortunately, at least in the US, there aren't actually a lot of requirements you have to follow or a lot of hoops you have to jump through to officially start a business. As long as your business is small, you're not earning a whole lot, you don't have employees, that sort of thing. So nothing to worry about, but definitely stuff that you should be aware of so that you know like what thresholds you need to be aware of, where you might have to start filing more paperwork or register your business in a different way. And also so that you have the big picture idea of where maybe you're taking this business. Like, are you just going to keep selling this $5 printable and that's it? Or are you going to add onto your product suite and start selling more products? Are you going to create your website? Are you going to build up your marketing and start actually marketing for yourself so that you can make more money? Understanding that big picture is so important if you want this to be more than just this one little project that makes you a few bucks every month. So if that's something that you're interested in learning more about, then I have a free course that will help you out. It's just called Small Business 101. Like I said, it's completely free, and I just put it together to help out those of you who are just starting out with your business, or maybe you've started a business but you don't really know what you're doing. So check the description for a link for how you can get a copy of that free Small Business 101 course. Thanks so much for watching today's video. My name is Gillian Perkins. If you want to see more videos about online business and digital marketing, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next week.